Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to a new video. And don't worry, I'm not jumping on the World Cup bandwagon just yet because it is pretty far away. But I made a video last week talking about whether I think the Newcastle player Jamal Lascelles is within a shout for an England call-up. And it got me thinking, what even is England's starting 11 and what would it be when we get to the World Cup? We still have two more international breaks. England are playing Netherlands and Italy in March and then Nigeria and Costa Rica in June at the end of the season, which means Gareth has 4 games to decide his World Cup squad and basically his starting 11. So I thought it would be fun for me to do my England starting 11 today and then again before the World Cup starts to see how my opinions change and whether me and Gareth have got the same mindset. There's one thing that looks pretty certain, and that's that Gareth wants to go with the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2, basically the wing-back system with 5 at the back, you know. So that's what I'm going to be going with today. Whether I think that's right or wrong, I mean, nothing's really worked for us in the last however many years, so I suppose it's worth giving it a try. And like I said, it's what he wants to do, so that's kind of what I'm going to go off today as well. Starting off with goalkeeper, and probably one of the most up for debate positions we've got. Southgate said that Joe Hart would be his #1 goalkeeper. He's since then gone on loan to Torino. I think he did alright, and then he's come back. He's on loan at West Ham, and he doesn't get a game at the moment, so I don't know. I mean, I like Joe Hart. I like the idea that he's had a few tournaments under his belt and also the fact that he was playing at Man City, a good team in the Premier League, and it's all just kind of fallen away from him. Other goalkeepers to look at, we've got Pickford at Everton, who is doing a very decent job over there. We've got Butland, who again is doing a decent job at Stoke. Fraser Foster has not been playing for Southampton due to poor form, and Heaton, who was also in the mix, has had a long-term injury. So will he go with Joe Hart, who he said would be his #1, but then never gets a game, or do we go with Pickford or Butland, who maybe really doesn't have the experience yet? When you look at other countries, like Spain have got De Gea, France have got Lloris, Germany have got Neuer, and we are stuck picking between our experienced goalkeeper who doesn't even get a game anymore and Butland and Pickford, who are just 2 young lads. I have actually gone for Pickford. I don't want to say that Joe Hart's time is over in an England shirt. If he can get some game time at West Ham before the end of the season, then he's very much within a shout. And to be honest, just because of his experience, he might get in the team anyway. But your guess is as good as mine on that one. We'll move on to a position which is much easier to pick, and that is right back / right wing back. And it's going to have to be Kyle Walker. There's not a lot of competition there. He's probably the best right back in the league. Yeah, he's definitely an easy pick, I would say. Move over onto the left side. So really there's 2 players in there for me who I think are in contention. It's Danny Rose and Bertrand. I'm going to stick in Danny Rose. But I do understand that he is also not getting a game at Spurs. So this is really relying on the fact that he will grab some game time before the end of the season. To be honest, I do think Rose is a better left back. When he's in form, he's by far the best left back in the league for me. But if he's not getting any game time between now and then, Bertrand is getting game time, and at the moment, I don't think they're too far apart from each other because Rose hasn't been playing. So I'm going with Rose. But yeah, he's going to have to play. Otherwise, it'll be Bertrand. And to be honest, I won't be upset by that because I actually like Bertrand as a player as well. Moving on to centre-backs. And if you did watch my video about whether Lascelles should get a call-up, I did discuss a number of the centre-backs, or all the centre-backs that England have at the minute. And you'll know that we have a lot of competition in that area. But at the same time, the players are having their ups and downs in that position as well. The first player I'm going to pick for my starting 11 for the World Cup is John Stones. He has had a few injury troubles recently. He hasn't been getting as much game time as I'd like to see him getting at Man City. He's still a young lad, you know. We brought him in for the Euros. That was his first tournament. He's moved on to his second tournament, so he does have some experience there. And because we're playing that 5 at the back, he is a bit of a footballing centre-back as well. We need him to be able to bring the ball forward when needed to. That's why I've put him on the right-hand side of the three. Moving on to the left side of the three. And again, if you watched my last video talking about centre-backs, you'll know I really like Harry Maguire. He's a very, like I said, it didn't make much sense at the time. It doesn't make much sense now. But he's a very defensive centre-back. He's very much what I would think as a centre-back. But he also has that footballing play to be able to bring the ball out. It will be his first tournament for England, so not a huge amount of experience there, but I'm hoping that the players around him, you know, will like help him. Okay, so yeah, he's on the left-hand side. And the final choice of the centre-back. We have a number of centre-backs at England. We have Jones, Smalling, Cahill, and you could maybe even say Dyer could play centre-back if needed. Again, I said in my last video, Jones and Smalling just haven't really lit the world up this season. And Gary Cahill, who is probably a dead cert to be in the middle of the back three for England, has not had a great season. When I was doing this, I was very tempted to actually drop Dyer back there, but at the same time, when you've got Pickford in goal, who hasn't got that much experience, Maguire on the left, who again doesn't have that much experience, Stones, yes, has played a tournament, but he is still young. You do need that rock at the back, so I have gone with Cahill. I know that his form hasn't been great, and I said in my last video again that at Chelsea, I think since John Terry went and he lost that leadership role with him, I think he has suffered at Chelsea. It's his last shot in a tournament for me. I don't think he'll be at the next one in 2 years' time, but especially in the first game at the World Cup, you need someone with a level head who's got the experience, who's been there, done that, and although he hasn't had a great season, I think he was the one to go for. Moving slightly further up the pitch and into that three in midfield, I think it's very likely we're going to be playing with that one defensive centre mid with the two slightly further forward. And in that defensive role, defensive centre mid role, it's really from two players. It's going to either be Dyer or Henderson. Now, Henderson's only really just coming back from injury for Liverpool, and Dyer has obviously been playing in that position for Spurs so far this season. Don't get me wrong, I think Henderson is, he's playing for Liverpool at the highest level. He's represented England however many times, but I just don't always feel he's had his best games in an England shirt. And for me, Dyer has shown that he's still trying to cement his players. I think he's definitely cemented it in the squad, but trying to cement it in the first 11. He's got the experience now, or he's definitely getting there, and I think for me, I would go with him. I think it's very close between the two, but I think Dyer might just have the edge for me. Moving into the next centre midfielder, one of the more attacking players we're looking at, and I'm going to go straight away and put Dele Alli in there. I know his form hasn't been fantastic this season, but he can definitely switch it on when he needs to. Another reason why I picked Dyer was because they play week in, week out together. And again, a striker that I will get onto, which I've no doubt you'll guess will be in the team, has that link play with them. I love the idea of pulling players who play together out of club level and putting it into England, because they already have that instant knowledge of how to play together on the pitch without having to train it up every... England players never see each other. So to be able to bring them from their club and put them into the team, I think is actually very, very helpful. On the other side of midfield of the final three, it was really hard because, especially with this formation, we're almost losing players like Sterling, Rashford. I know they can play centrally, but a lot of the time they do play out on the wings for their club. And with this formation, you're almost reducing the attacking options that you have. You've also got Lingard, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana. I went for Jack Wilshere. Now, again, this is a bit of a bold move because we all know with his injury troubles and when he went out on loan to Bournemouth and having that form, he is starting to get a bit of a run in that Arsenal team, and I do think on his day he could easily be one of the best attacking centre midfield players that England has. Now, saying that, will he turn it on at the tournament? You've just got to hope, like you really do. I've gone for him. there's a lot of debate there, like I said. I also really like Lallana. If it wasn't Wilshere, it would probably be Lallana for me. But again, he's just come back from injuries, fighting in reserve games or whatever he's doing. So I've gone for Wilshere at the moment, but I could see how that could easily change. And finally, our two strikers. Now, the first one, I've pretty much already said it, is Harry Kane. I mean, you really can't deny the fact that he's if not the best striker in the Premier League, and it's great that he can be able to represent England in the World Cup. Hopefully he can grab as many goals there as he has been doing for Spurs. Again, that link-up play with Ali, with Dyer in the side, Rose out on the left if he can get some game time. I don't want to fill the team with Spurs players, but like I said, I like that idea of that instant link-up play. The other striker position is not so easy. I've mentioned it already, and players like Sterling, Rashford in a different formation would definitely have been in the side. Like if it was 4-3-3, you'd almost definitely have Sterling on one of the wings, Rashford on the other, Harry Kane in the middle. But because it's the two up front, I've gone for Jamie Vardy. I just think having two strikers on the pitch, they complement each other as well. Kane, he's not a slow bloke, but he's tall, he's strong. You've got Vardy, who's a bit smaller and very quick. So a play with those two strikers up front to complement each other. If things go wrong, we need to hit the ball long. Kane with the knockdown, Vardy running on. And I suppose you could say the same about Sterling and Rashford. They can also replay that position, but just for that goal-scoring threat, used to just scoring goals, yeah, I've gone for Vardy. And that is it, guys. So let me know down in the comments below, do you agree? Do you not agree? If you want to put your team down below for me to have a look at, please do. Or if you just have maybe a player or two you would change around. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong in any way. I thought it would be good to have a look at this today. We can see what happens in the friendlies, and it's a while away yet, but to have a look at it before the World Cup starts as well. But yes, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on England down below. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.